Hello, folks. It's Mr. Informal. Finally back with podcast number 7. It has been a while since I did a podcast. I've been busy. I've been doing a lot of things, redesigning, doing a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of YouTube stuff. So, because I want to expand my horizon and not only that, be the hustler that I was born to be. But in any case, I just want to bring back YouTube, and especially with this podcast number 7. And again, my name is Mr. Informal. I hope you enjoy listening to me. So let's get on with the topic. I have 4 topics to talk about in this podcast number 7. Number 1 is pop-up shops. I'm sure you've recently heard the news of Justin Bieber and Kanye West doing pop-up shops, so we'll talk about that. Number 2 is Raf Simons is the new chief creative officer for Calvin Klein. That's a big deal. Next up is wireless headsets. Now, a few companies are now taking out the headphone jack off of their device. So now we're focusing on wireless headset. It will become the future of headphones, headsets, and listening, and also for the music industry. The last topic we have is, now that the Olympics is over, I can critically analyze the United States women's and men's uniform designed and produced by Ralph Lauren. I'm very critical about that. So let's get on with topic number 1 with a brief summary of the 4 topics that I will be speaking about in this podcast. So number 1, pop-up shop. Ever since Kanye West did his pop-up shop with the Life of Pablo album, everybody, or fans, fashion fans, or even just you enjoy clothing, has lined up in these pop-up shops. You know, these pop-up shops are not permanent stores or shops. They're actually just created to just be a pop-up shop. Just basically out of nowhere, they'll just sell clothing line. But in any case, Kanye West has introduced it to the masses, and now Justin Bieber is doing it with his own pop-up shop when he goes on the Purpose tour. He's actually on his Purpose tour right now. And Kanye West's pop-up shop, The Life of Pablo, is doing it right now. And it's becoming the trend. I would not be surprised if Beyonce will do it. I think Beyonce is doing it. I gotta check up on that. But as of right now, Beyonce is doing the top shop clothing line. And so let me just type up a Beyonce. Oh, okay, then yeah, Beyonce is actually doing... Oh, never mind. She's not doing it. So yeah. Anyways, proving my point, she's only doing the top shop line. And another thing is Drake is actually getting into it, even though Drake has already did it with the OVO October Very Owns. And so I guess artists nowadays are becoming creative director and with their own brand, especially their own clothing line, as they are representing their brand and also their line. Not only that, they're actually giving exposure to their album and also tours. And so what do I think of the clothes itself in the pop-up shop? Well, 1, I think they're overpriced. 2, the materials is just like any other materials. Could be 100% cotton, could be mixed with spandex, could be polyester. It's the same clothing line that you will see in H&M, Forever 21, Top Man, Zara, but I don't think it's the same quality as Zara. But definitely the price is overpriced or is very high, and I think it's not worth it. But people are lining up like crazy, just like how people lining up for Supreme. if you look at the pictures from the Kanye West opening pop-up shop in New York, it was a long line. People were jam-packed. They had securities checking on it, and not only that, even Justin Bieber's pop-up shop line was crazy too. And everybody's going crazy. Everyone's buying it now because one, they're fans, or two, you know what people do. They're not there for the clothes itself. They just buy it, sell it in eBay for a higher price, and make money off of it. I'm not really mad about it. I probably would do the same because I don't think the quality is that good. Not only that, the design is basic. Printed screens, printed text, printed images, sweaters, hoodies, pants. I would have expected to have something, at least something nice. Something that I could look and say, you know what, that's actually quite good, or that's actually quite a great design. But I think this is more of just a basic merchandise, and they're not going all out with the design. But to counter that, Kanye West, as you can tell, did actually a collection. But his pop-up shop was nothing crazy, was nothing to gloss about or floss about. And so I was expecting more from Kanye West, but Kanye West's design wasn't nothing special in the pop-up shop, so that was quite disappointing. And so, to summarize it, in the future, more artists will probably be doing this on tour, even though they've had merchandise in tour, but it's gonna be much more aware, much more well known. I think the next artist that would be doing this could be Young Thug, could be Lil Wayne, could be Pitbull. Beyonce's definitely gonna be at it. Jay-Z could probably be the next one. I wouldn't be surprised. And so right now I feel like pop-up shop needs to elevate, need to level up their designs. You can't just give me a printed design. Expect more. Not only that, make it worth the price, so that when we wear it, we feel like this is something special here, not just some text that says "The Life of Pablo." But in any case, that's my perspective on things. What do y'all think? Put your comments down below and tell me what you think about that, okay? So the next topic that I, very interested in is Raf Simons is now the Chief Creative Officer of Calvin Klein. That is interesting. When I first heard this news, I thought about it. I was thinking, what would Calvin Klein gain from this? Because Calvin Klein and Raf Simons are almost similar, but Raf Simons is more higher end. Not only that, it is much more stylish than Calvin Klein today, even though Calvin Klein used to be stylish. But CK is known all over the world. CK, everyone knows that. Not everybody knows Raf Simons. So in terms of brand awareness, globalization, CK is definitely much more known than Raf Simons. But one thing that I do thought about is I actually think this marriage would actually be great for CK, because Raf Simons' design is similar to CK, and will actually benefit CK because Raf Simons, when he designs something, one, it's really clean. Two, it's almost tailor-made, his clothes. And three, he brings a little bit of British flair with a little bit of Italian style. Somewhere in between that. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, and add to that, CK is an American brand. So, do I think that he's gonna mix Italian, British, and American? I don't think so. But I do think he's gonna do what he usually does. He's gonna make everything that he previously made and he's gonna make it much better. One thing that I do notice about Raf Simons is when he makes suits and when he makes jackets, it's a beautiful piece. Raf Simons know how to design outerwear, so that's something that could benefit CK in the future. Not only that, Raf Simons has a little bit of streetwear when he designs something, so again, it's a benefit to CK. And one final thing is that Raf Simons has a cult following, and since once he moved to CK, I'm pretty sure a lot of his fans is also gonna move to CK. So again, CK is benefiting from this. And is Raf Simons benefiting from this? In terms of brand awareness, in terms of his name being attached to one of the biggest American brand in the world, yeah, I could see that. But in terms of design, I think that he may not get anything out of it. The only thing that I see that could be a disadvantage for him is his reputation. I'm sure that there are fans of his is telling themselves, why did you have to move? Why? Why not be your own company? Why not be your own man? Why did you have to move to CK? Fans are probably telling themselves, oh, you're a sellout. Which I could agree a little bit, because looking at it, I don't see Raf Simons benefiting from this because I just don't see it. But in terms of, I guess, getting better money, better control of a big company, I could see the advantage. But in the end, I really truly hope that Raf Simons could get it together and make something new and create something that the world has never seen, or maybe take a classic and improve on it and introduce it to the world. He has one of the biggest platforms, one of the biggest brands that he could take advantage of. So that's one thing I truly hope that he uses, and I hope that CK could also benefit from this. It's great to see good companies being better than before. Calvin Klein used to be good with their ads, black and white ads with their jeans, and now I guess nobody recognizes them anymore. They lost their soul. But I'm waiting for Raf Simons to bring back that soul, bring back that brand that everyone loves, CK. Okay, now let's get to the third topic of this podcast. It is the wireless headset. What I mean by wireless headset is Bluetooth specifically. The Moto Z do not have a headphone jack, which means the only way to listen to music is via Bluetooth. That's the only way. And there are rumors that the iPhone 7 will also not have a headphone jack or 3.5mm jack. And so again, the only way for you to listen is, one, could be Bluetooth, or two, could be by the USB Type-C or the Lightning port of the Apple. So it seems like the whole industry is thinking about getting rid of the 3.5mm jack, even though there has nothing been wrong with it. I really don't see the advantage of removing it, other than just to move forward with technology. And I've heard people defend it by saying, oh, if you use the Lightning port or the USB Type-C, you can get a DAC, better output in audio. I don't really care, because it's the same. Cause I don't see the advantage of that. I really don't. The only way for me to get a higher quality audio is, one, the quality of the music itself. Two, you gotta have good headphones. So again, I don't think. And three, people say, well, you can make the phone thinner, but it doesn't really matter. I'd rather have a thicker phone with a better battery life than a thinner phone with useless battery life. So, but in terms of moving the technology forward, I can understand, because if we don't move forward with technology, we're not going to improve on certain things. Such as moving from micro USB to USB Type C. USB Type C is just that much better overall. Actually, no, that's a bad comparison. But let me get on to it. So Bluetooth 5.0 will be released probably later this year in terms of devices, or next year. But Bluetooth as of right now is still not that great in terms of outputting a lossless quality music. Not only that, it also a little bit degrades the audio quality a little bit. And Bluetooth headsets are not, it still needs battery to power, and they don't hold longer battery life as they should. And so what do I think of the industry itself removing the 3.5mm jack to Bluetooth, or just removing it at all? Well, I think the industry's not ready yet, because a lot of manufacturers are still want to connect, or still want to use the 3.5mm jack or headphone jack, because they're not ready yet, or they haven't planned out yet for the future. Not only that, like I said, Bluetooth 5.0 still needs to mature, so the technology still needs to mature. And not only that, the headphone manufacturers or audio manufacturers are not ready for this change. I'm not saying change is bad, but I just think the industry as a whole are not ready. But I understand that there has to be a start. And so right now we have two brands, or two phones, that will not have the headphone jack, which is the Motorola Z, owned by Lenovo, and it is expected to be Apple. So I think once Apple released iPhone 7 without a headphone jack, I think that's when it will pick up really quick. And so right now, 2017 may be the year, or 2018 may be the year that most phones will not have a headphone jack, and a lot of people will use Bluetooth. But at that time, I truly hope that technology matures for us to ensure that headphones, earphones, earbuds are good enough for us to be independent of wires. Now, as for the last topic, I watch the Olympics. I love Olympics. Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics. I just love Olympics in general. So all of us probably watch the Olympics, especially the opening ceremony. But just to let you know right now that Ralph Lauren was the brand that provided the US uniform, dress, or national clothing to the athletes. And so when people think of Ralph Lauren, the American brand, blue, red, white, something that reminds you of America patriotism. But when I saw the athletes wearing the Ralph Lauren, it was white pants, I think it was striped shirt. Let me look it up for a bit. Ralph Lauren Olympic uniform. Okay, here we go. So I was watching it, and it was just white collared shirt, double-breasted navy blue jacket, white pants, and a red, white, and blue tie. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it, really, because I don't see it as an American style clothing. Not only that, it's just so typical and basic. You would think that the most powerful, the most influential country in the world would bring out something amazing, but they didn't. It just feels like It just felt like I've seen it before. It feels like I've seen a Ralph Lauren catalog, and I was just disappointed. I'm just looking at it, and I tell myself I've seen this before. It's the same old story. But I, in terms of patriotism, it's great. You know, if you want to represent your country, I think it's good. It's good enough. But again, it's disappointing that I'm see that the most powerful country in the world. Not only that, we had the most Olympians in the Olympics. So that means that we're on the spotlight here. Ralph Lauren is on the spotlight. Not only that, they even had a hat too. It was really stupid. One of those gold pad or delivery type hats. And looking at it, it's just trash. I'm sorry, it's just trash. I would have expected better in terms of the Americana style. I think other brands should have taken the role of designers. Heck, I actually think that Ralph Lauren himself should have designed it. Instead, he probably had other assistant designers do this design. And I can tell this is old recycled design too, because they always do this every 2 years because of the Winter Olympics too. And we also need to have some fresh faces in the industry representing America, also designing something for America. Heck, the Canadian uniform was actually much better. And I can't believe I can't believe they look better than us. Even the US men's basketball uniforms was trash by Nike, but that's a different story, that's a different podcast to talk about. And so, what do I really, I mean, in conclusion, okay, let me get to the conclusion. Ralph Lauren hasn't been relevant since the 1980s and early 90s. So what does that mean exactly in terms of the Olympics? It means nothing. It means that they should not be the one who's designing the US Olympic uniforms. It means that we need fresh, new, young designers to actually represent the country. Like, I would not be surprised if Dolce & Gabbana actually designed for the Italian Olympians. Like, I won't even be surprised if, you know, the Italians basically the whole Italian industry probably basically designed for the whole Italian Olympians. I'm pretty sure even the Europeans uniform were much better. Well, to be specific, the British, the French, they were looking better. Not only that, the French actually had similar clothing to the US. I was surprised, but theirs was even better. And so, I mean, will this get any better in the future? I don't think so. They probably have a contract with the US Olympic Committee, and they even did it last Olympics in United Kingdom, or London to be specific. They were the one who's designing the uniform for the US Olympians. I mean, I'm just really hope that in the future that they will create something new, something fresh that can represent the US of A, and they can make themselves look different compared to the other athletes in the world. And our presentation would be much better too. And our overall outfit too. And so that's the end of the podcast number 7. I hope y'all enjoy it, and I don't mean to maybe complain a lot if that's what you think. I actually think this is just what I want to discuss, express it. Hopefully you learn some insights, and hopefully you are aware, or it brought something new perspective that you didn't know about. So, anyways, I'll see you all in the next podcast. This is Mr. Informal signing out. Bye bye.